For the Japan Mobility Show, this is the Kawasaki booth, and I've been covering a lot of other manufacturers, especially on my car channel. Of course, Honda's behind me, and I'll get to the CB1000, so stay tuned for that here on my motorcycle channel. But I want to discuss some of the amazing products that Kawasaki has here. It is the 60th anniversary of their W series, their air-cooled parallel twin, where the pistons move up and down together, both of them. All right, this W800 is still on sale here in America. Of course, it's still on sale here in Japan. All right, this is the original. This is 60 years old, back in like 1965. Absolutely amazing. It looks like a bike I would want to buy today if the styling, I mean, they did an amazing job keeping the styling concurrent, but there's something just special, more compact. Like this just looks perfect design. Now this bike, the W230, it is on sale in the United States. It's a single cylinder. It shares a very similar engine to the KLX 230 over there. It is air-cooled. It is a bit pricey. If I remember, in the United States, this is like $5,000 to $6,000, something like that, and it's very low horsepower. But man, is it beautiful! I think it looks better in person. This is my first time seeing it in person. It looks better in person than it does in photos. I love the classic design. It definitely looks a part of the family, the W family. Now, as we go right behind us, we have the updated Z900s. These have the updated IMU. I think they have cruise control from the Z900. It looks like I see cruise control features there on the left-hand control cluster there. I love, man, look at the radial dials. That's something the CB1000, they just have a digital screen. I love the radial dials there, that old school charm. On the Z900RS, that still has that, carries it over, but it has a quick shifter now. Just overall updated from top to bottom. This bike to make it even more compelling. Beautiful bike. This one is the more of the cafe style, and this one here it has the Öhlins rear suspension, the gold forks, okay, the Brembo brakes. Speaking of Brembo brakes, this is the new Z1100 SE, and this is going to come to America very soon. I believe it's one of the first markets that's going to be getting this bike, and it is a spiritual successor to the Z1000, which I think was discontinued around 2016 in the United States. It has that Sugami design, very aggressive, kind of insect-like front end and headlight display. This one only comes as an SE in the United States, and it has the Brembo brakes and the Öhlins suspension in the rear. The gold forks look nice. Now, some of the design details that are kind of harder to pick up in photos that I've been noticing here is this aerodynamic channeler here on this kind of a radiator shroud, and it channels air to the back. All right, it's not an air-cooled engine, so it's just there kind of for probably looks. And then we have this small belly pan-like aerodynamic fend piece here at the bottom. Again, mainly for design. It kind of covers up the ugly, I would say, exhaust pipe setup down there at the bottom. But the problem I have with this bike, the Z1100, even though it's not on sale, as you guys may have seen me cover, that this bike starts at about $15,000 stateside, where the Z900, I mean, these are the RS models are a little bit different, but like the non-retro style Z900 is under $10,000, and even though this has a bigger engine, 1098cc, Kawasaki couldn't even tell me the horsepower. I think it does say 136, but they couldn't tell me the horsepower of the Z900. Which I think is around 120 to 125 horsepower. So I just struggle with this bike, with the pricing and performance, where it's at $15,000 over $10,000 Z900, which gives you an inline four. And I'm trying to think here, does this have cruise control on this bike? I can't see from the stock over there. All right, I'll see if you guys can see from the stock over there. And the Z900 does have cruise control, as well as these updated Z900 RSs. So we're going to finish off with some bikes over here. So the Ninja 1100 SX. Now this is the Meguro model, which we don't get the Meguro. It is a more blacked out version of the W230, so it has an air-cooled engine. I love the style of this bike. I wish we got a stateside. It reminds me a lot of the CB 350, but look at the dual shocks on the back. This bike is absolutely gorgeous here. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, hey guys! Now, I will be getting rid of my Honda Gram for a dual sport. I just don't know which dual sport I'm going to trade it in for, and I don't know exactly when. But this Sherpa is coming stateside, as well as the I always forget, it's like the DE model. It's not as low as this. It's a bit higher. but I'm gonna sit on this and I'm gonna put the camera right here so you guys can see. I have a feeling that this bike is going to be too small for me, but small is okay because in Florida I have, and sand means I'm going to be correcting all the time. All right, so the swing a leg over, real easy to do. It feels very similar in size to the XR 150L that I'm currently have for a long-term reviewer on. The Sherpa has some bark busters here. I love the paint color of this, to be honest, but it is going. I wish I could get it on the higher suspension model. I mean, the amount of leg bend or the knee bend here I have is substantial. This seat is nowhere near as comfortable as the XR 150L either, so that's a bit of a disappointment. I can feel a lot of pressure in my thighs. You know, raising my feet up here, pretty hard seat. Playing with the shifter. The shifter feels quite smooth. All right, so the controls feel good. I have kind of like these more off-roady focused iron grips for foot pegs, as well as the brake peg. It has some of that grippiness to it as well. The handlebars feel very KLX here. They feel wider than they are on the XR 150L. All right, but you know, I like how my body feels on it. However, this seat is noticeably harder than I'd like it to be. Now, the brown model in the US has a higher suspension travel or a longer suspension travel and a higher ground clearance. I think that might come with a rack, for example. All right, this only has a 5-speed transmission. This has the same engine as the Megaro next to me, as well as the W800, so air-cooled single cylinder, which is great for off-roading. All right, the visibility here, pretty good out of the mirrors. The circular mirrors here, very similar to the XR 150L. All right, so Sherpa looks awesome. I love the the air-cooled fins to it. The passenger pegs here as well, pretty chunky. I would not want, like, I feel like I'm bottoming out the suspension. I feel way too heavy for it. And I can't imagine putting a rear passenger on this, but it's an awesome looking bike. But after sitting on it, I'm not quite sure that this bike would be the right one for me. But there's the Megaro looks so good that I want to sit on it. We don't get we get the 230 with the red tank over there, stateside, and I'm a huge fan of classically styled bikes, and this Megaro is incredible. I love this unique badge that it has on the tank. Kind of this chrome piece as well. Again, the same 230 engine as the KLX 230 on the W230, but this has much more blacked out accents. So the W has it has like a chrome front wheel fender and a chrome rear wheel fender, but again, the dual shock rear suspension looks amazing. Swinging the leg over, it's just, oh, it feels really cool. The handlebars are chrome here, but they're much more narrow. I have twin rotary dials here, which gives me that old school charm. Okay, I have some lettering on here that says 170. Maybe in the past they made a Megaro 170. I'm not quite sure. The levers feel great and nice heft to the clutch here. Feet are really high on this. Higher than I was expecting, and I do have long legs. That might be a part of it. All right, shifter as a result kind of feels in a funny car. Okay, my ZX4RR, much further forward. My feet are further back. All right, and I kind of can replicate that if I put my feet way back on these pegs. All right, I can't really slide around on this seat too much. I could sit back here, and this is more comfortable to me. So I do have that liberty to kind of move around on this, as well as you do on the W230 behind. This bike, sitting on it, has so much charm, character, and this little thumper is not even running. Now, the issue with this thumper is that it's more of a high revving sort of single cylinder compared to like the Honda CB350, where that, of course, will have more power. the CB350, which is not here, and I'm really sad that the CB350 is not here because that's a bike I would love to have. But again, we don't get a stateside. We do get the brother to this, the W230. I'm just not quite sure about the charm of this engine on this, where I want maybe a longer stroke, a little bit, maybe not quite as high of a red line, a little bit more thumper character to it. And I would be able to get that for sure on the bigger brother, the W800. All right, but really, really amazingly beautiful bike here, the Meguro. I'd love to have this stateside, but it's good that we get the W30. But let me know what your favorite bike here was at Kawasaki's booth at the Japan Mobility Show. They have some hydrogen things on the other side of the wall, like a hydrogen powered motorcycle. They have a side-by-side here and a golf cart, because golf is big in Japan here as well. But signing out, this is the best motorcycle booth here at the Japan Mobility Show. It is better than Honda's, in my opinion. It is. The Kawasaki, amazing, amazing. It would be cool if they had the ZX4RR here. I was talking to the Kawasaki team. They do sell that bike here in Japan, as well as the ZX25RR. So yeah, I would love to have that smaller 4-cylinder in the States, but it is what it is. Signing out. I'll see you guys. My favorite one so far out of all these bikes might be the Meguro. But I'll see you in the comments. What is your favorite, and what do you think? Do you think the Z1100 is going to sell well in the United States when it's so expensive compared to the Z900? That's a big pill to swallow for Kawasaki. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.